Hi everybody, my name is Timothy Hanline Jr. and I'm the author of LifelineToNAC.com, and I've been getting a number of emails recently regarding the New Apostolic Church's increasing tolerance of homosexual people and homosexuality. And we even have evidence now that the New Apostolic Church has sanctioned or blessed homosexual marriage. Very interesting, very disturbing, troubling trend. And we also have, now this is quite dated, but it's still relevant nonetheless. A lot of people have written to me about this. Comments from the Chief Apostle Wilhelm Leber regarding homosexuality. And I'm going to read one of his quotes here. He says, I would like to set this record straight. According to current scientific knowledge, homosexuality is essentially a particular disposition, as one might be right or left-handed. Homosexuality certainly has a much broader scope than this, but in principle, this seems to be a good comparison. Folks, now he's not critiquing current scientific knowledge here, he's coming to agreement with it. So in essence, Wilhelm Leber now believes current scientific knowledge is more important than the truth found in the scriptures. Now that's an important distinction. Now he goes on to say, as a response to the question is this: now and again the question arises as to whether homosexuals are able to reach the goal of our faith. What are your thoughts on this? And Wilhelm Leber replies, he says, I'm convinced that no homosexual is fundamentally excluded from the possibility of reaching the goal. I've indicated that if someone deals responsibly and sincerely with his homosexual disposition in a committed relationship, this relationship is to be assessed quite differently than fleeting and constantly changing partners. Okay, folks, that is a devastating lie. He goes on to write here, therefore, if someone sincerely practices his faith as a homosexual, I am convinced that he will have just as much chance of attaining worthiness as anyone else. Folks, that's a devastating, devastating lie. Because what he just said is that the scriptures are lying. Now, this is the same thing that the New Apostolic Church has said in many different regards, on many different fronts, especially with the false prophecy of Chief Apostle Bishop. What did the church say about it? That, the church says, God changed his mind and Bishop was right. Folks, Bishop was not right. And the Most High does not change his mind. He purposely deceived Bishop to expose him as a fraud and a liar. But the people in the New Apostolic Church who remain faithful to the church were blinded to it because they do not believe and do not understand and do not study the scriptures, what our Creator has already written. But here we have Leber, who's redefining righteousness. He himself is now defining righteousness, which is at variance now with our Creator's righteousness. And we call what Leber is doing here self-righteousness. When I myself create a new form of righteousness, that's self-righteous. But if I come into agreement with our Creator, obey his code of ethics, that's called true righteousness. And Leber is definitely here creating a form of self-righteousness. Now, it's important to go to the scriptures now and give Yah the final word, because his word is paramount and it's very relevant. And we'll start in Leviticus chapter 18, and I can hear some of the critics, my critics, saying, that's Old Testament stuff and it is not relevant. And I will argue that absolutely every page and every word of the scriptures is relevant from Genesis to Revelation, and it is all pertinent for instruction, for reproof in righteousness, and it is important that we study it and obey it. Now Leviticus says this, chapter 18, verse 22, do not lie with a male as with a woman, it is an abomination. Now this is right next to all the other laws concerning sexual purity, which are all still absolutely relevant, and violation of these ordinances is called sin. So it's important, just like it's important not to commit adultery. It's important not to it says here in verse 13, the nakedness of your mother's sister you do not uncover. Verse 14, the nakedness of your father's brother you do not uncover, and so on and so forth. It goes in to say, don't have sex with a menstruating woman. Don't have sex with your neighbor's wife, and so on. These are all very much pertinent to today. Certainly the laws haven't changed, and our Creator is giving us His rules for us to live by. Now Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13 says this, and a man who lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have done an abomination. They shall certainly be put to death. Their blood is upon them. And it is important to stress, homosexuality is, just like murder, just like kidnapping, a capital offense. Now our current system of laws does not permit putting homosexuals to death, although it should. And my vote is, just like murder, absolutely it should. That's what the scriptures say. We come into agreement with our Creator's code of ethics. Now, at the very least, what you must do is, if you have an acquaintance who is homosexual, you must tell them the truth in order that they will repent. One day, on the day of judgment, when they're about to be cast into the lake of fire for not repenting of being homosexual, they'll point at you and they'll say, because you didn't love me, you didn't tell me the truth, therefore I'm condemned to the lake of fire. Do you want that on your conscience? I'll argue no. I certainly don't want it on my conscience. What must you do to have that? What must you do that their blood would not be on your hands? And the answer is simple. Preach the truth to them. The truth is found in the scriptures. Leber is not telling the truth. He's telling a devastating lie. But the truth is found in scriptures. And if you tell your homosexual acquaintances the truth, then you'll be innocent of their blood. You'll have done everything you can, as love demands, to rescue them from the pits of fire. That's important. That's true love. Tell them the truth. And just when you think homosexuality is some kind of civil right, it's not. I know plenty of former homosexuals. Plenty. Now they have repented. Now they are not homosexual. I don't know any former black people. It's not a matter of civil rights. Homosexuality is simply a matter of sin. Will you tolerate it, as apparently Wilhelm Leber is increasingly tolerating it? You can't. The most loving thing you can do for your homosexual acquaintance is to tell them the truth, that they need Yeshua, our Messiah, and they need His sacrifice to cover their sins, and they need to repent and stop sinning. That's the most important point for you to convey to your homosexual acquaintances. Repent. Now, in closing, let's go to the epistle of Paul to the Corinthians and read from chapter 6, verse 9. Do you not know that the unrighteous shall not inherit the reign of Elohim, he writes? Do not be deceived, neither those who whore, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor homosexuals, nor thieves, nor greedy of gain, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor swindlers shall inherit the reign of Elohim. Now notice that list includes the effeminate, that's men who act like women, and that this also includes homosexuals. They will not enter the reign of Elohim. It's important for you to tell your homosexual friends that. And if you're in the New Apostolic Church, write Wilhelm Leber a letter and point this out to him. And tell him that he is in grievous error and leading his church down a path of destruction because he does not come into agreement with his Creator's code of ethics. Folks, but you must come into agreement with the scriptures by your commitment to excellence and your commitment to studying the Word and to conforming your life to it and being transformed by it. And in so doing, you will save not only yourself, but those that hear you. So again, my name is Timothy Hanline Jr. Feel free to contact me by going to the homepage at lifeline2nac.com and clicking on the email links to contact me with any of your comments or questions. So thanks for listening.